Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
I know this week, maybe some, especially maybe college-wise too, they got some finals going on, so games may be a little limited on the Blue Gold side. But you did watch some women's basketball this past weekend, right? So Blue Gold women's picking up their fourth straight win in a row.
Yes, indeed.
So it's like both men's and women's riding some winning streaks right now for basketball.
They love December. It's a December to remember for the basketball. Yeah, for both of them. Just men get the win over on Wednesday, then have their break now. Then the women close it out with a win over Wisconsin Lutheran for their fourth straight, and really starting to click as they'll get to the holiday tournament at the end of the month, and then it's conference play.
Yeah.
So for Tanya England's squad to start kind of figuring out, and I talked to her last Wednesday, and just they're young, but they've been put in so many different situations in their non-conference schedule that it should help them going forward. That they've been down, they've been up, they've been in last-second situations, they've executed and won last-second games. So looking at that team, I mean, it's continually to be on the rise. And she's always says you want to get better after every game, and I think that's what we see with this Blue Gold women's team. And the men's team they've bought into Coach Malvik's philosophy.
Yeah,
so well, and everybody in there it's a loose team that just is out there having fun and playing very well. And what is it, 6 games now?
Seven in a row.
Thank you. Sorry,
6 in a row. 7 in a row. They're 7-3 right now.
It's somewhere between 6 and 7.
6.5.
Yeah.
They're 7-3 because
it'd be funny if it's like 8. And we're both
I'll double check
there we go,
because I don't need Hovind yelling at me or anything like that. So if he's listening right now.
We got too many winning streaks going on here. It's hard for us to keep track, Blue Gold.
They are 7-3 overall this season, so that because they won their first game. So basic math would tell me 6 in a row.
So and then you got the men's hockey team scoring that upset of point there on Saturday night, and then the women's hockey team just continuing to roll as well.
Yep.
So it's been a good couple of weeks here for the Blue Golds.
Well, then you had a top 3 matchup between the wrestling programs.
Yeah.
I mean, that went down to the final couple matches. So.
And again, I mean, that's a team they've never beat lacrosse, if I'm not mistaken. It's been years since they beat lacrosse, and that they were right there. They had a chance, and those two teams can be sending a lot of guys, I feel like, to nationals this year. So
exactly,
great week for the Blue Golds.
I know, speaking of Blue Golds, it wasn't a Blue Gold game, but Sontag, you had North and Rice Lake basketball on Friday night.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool to see. A prep team get some action on the big court over there too.
Right, because Eau Claire North, it was such a great week of local sports. There was so much going on, and for us, it's just awesome, the amount of local sports and just to get these teams coverage. Yeah, North had their wrestling invites.
Oh, yeah, the big Husky invite. Yep.
So they had the girls was on Friday, and then on Saturday was the men. So you had that going on, which is just a great event there. So basketball team had to play somewhere. Well, now you have this brand new shiny arena there. Why not have North take on Rice Lake, a team that's on the rise as well, at Sonotake? So you had, that's just awesome to have that option there, and for these kids to go play there, I think. You gotta love it. You really do.
Yep. I think was it the women's, the girls wrestling team? They got was it second? I think second place at the Husky invite too.
Yeah.
So, but I mean that program too. I mean the men's side.
Jake's doing such a great job.
Numbers are blowing out. I think record numbers in their program too, and they're coming off of some big time wins in the early part of the season too. So I mean it's. We talk about programs a lot, right? And these committed coaches and the development programs, that's one of them over there.
Oh, yeah. It just continues to grow and grow. And not only you're getting the boys to go out, but the way the girls' side of wrestling has just continuously grown.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just another local sport that that continues to prosper.
Earlier in the week, too, they beat North for the first time in a decade, wrestling.
Yeah.
North beat Hudson
for
the first time in a decade, too. So, man. Boys basketball too. I know it was your coworker there too, but he saw maybe one of the plays of the week earlier.
Oh, the Ellsworth
Altoona one,
Christian Leitner-esque play.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, again, that how lucky are we to be able to go out to these games and show this kind of stuff? So I look back on then we have Memorial as well, continuing to play. Cooper Jesperson on the verge. I think he's 75 points away from 1,000.
Man.
And they got a big one. And then, looking ahead to this week, which is just, there really isn't a slow down for the prep sports. They go full bore until Friday. Even Saturday, they got stuff going on. But Tuesday alone, we've got CFM, versus ECA girls hockey. Both those teams are playing great so far this season. Top-ranked Hudson, top 5 Eau Claire Memorial, top 10 Eau Claire Memorial. Boys hockey that same night at Hobbs.
Wow.
So you're getting a great doubleheader there.
Yep.
Rice Lake will be at Chi High for hockey. Ram has been playing out of their mind for boys hockey so far this year. They'll host Frederick. This is all Tuesday again. You're gonna have a lot of games if you want to go out there. We'll cover it for you too. That's what we do. But boys basketball, Spash versus Memorial.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I mean, this is just on Alaska North. Regis Fall Creek girls basketball.
Oh, geez.
I mean,
a rivalry action there. So
I mean, this is just a few of the games we're throwing out. Bloomer, Altoona girls basketball, Cadott, McDonald, and I'm sure there are games out there even more than this. Than wrestling is at Regis, the Raw wrestling team. So and then you got Bucks Thunder NBA Cup, just to throw in the national stuff there. So I mean, it is going to be just an awesome week of local sports around here, leading up to the Christmas break, and then you'll have your holiday tournaments. But yeah, get out there. Watch us. We'll cover it for you, but also get out there and watch some of these games because it's going to be a big week.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, if you can't get to any of these games or all of them, I mean, the boys, the crew, Sports Scene 13, you guys do a fantastic job over there every night.
Yeah.
So make sure you're tuning in for those highlights.
Let me shoot out JD, Phillip, and Dwayne, who are the three that are usually out there, also with me out there shooting. But those three guys do the heavy brunt of a lot of the lifting for shooting, and I wouldn't be here without them, and just the dedication they have to getting out there and getting those local sports.
Absolutely. So, man, you got no excuse not to be out there to watch some of this stuff coming up here.
It's going to be a fun week. It really is. I'm looking forward to it.
Anything that's, is maybe kind of surprise? Is it still kind of early to get some surprise teams or performances out there, or when's that kind of really conference kind of maybe January? Is that
a lot of them are already in? Like if you got like the Dairyland, I think Alma Center Lincoln, they ranked in the top 5, top 10 for D4. Suffered a loss at Osseo Fairchild, and the Osseo Fairchild team is tough. So on the boys' side there, so watching a lot of these teams just start to kind of figure out where they're at. But I think you start getting more of a feel after the holidays.
Yeah,
when you really get into that full of here we're in that stretch. Because it's such a weird schedule at this point because you've had Thanksgiving, you'll have these holiday tournaments there. But I mean, I got a chance to see the Memorial girls basketball team. I want to throw them out there for what they did. Just watching them play against New Richmond on Friday, the amount of depth on that team. Still a lot of players that are juniors. That's a good team. That's a really good team that I think is just continuously getting better and better, and has a lot of junior leaders and a lot of senior leaders. That's what you want for a team that has a possibility of making a decent run there. So it's I don't want to leave any teams out because there are so many great teams in this area.
Right.
So it again, we talk about it. I always say it's going to be fun, but it is. It is so much fun, and again, I think we're going to have just an outstanding winter sports season around here because there are so many really good teams in all the sports.
I know it's not a prep one, but he was from area. I saw you had posted this, and I watched it a couple days ago with Thomas Longbella.
Yeah,
the good video, the cool video feature of him on the Corn Ferry.
Yeah,
was close to getting his pro card right, and then a wrist surgery kind of derailed it, but back at it right now.
Yeah, I mean it worked out for him where he won his first PGA Americas. That's there's the tiers to like the PGA, like the PGA Americas, then it's Corn Ferry, then it's PGA Tour. Won his first event, but then had to have wrist surgery like 2 months later. Was on the verge of getting his Corn Ferry card. Well, then he goes through PGA Tour qualifying, Q School, makes it to the finals, and had a chance if he could have finished at the top 5, would have had a chance for his PGA Tour card. I think he ended up finishing in the 30s, something like that. But it's still a good performance.
Yeah.
Now he's got partial exemption, I believe, for the Corn Ferry, not full-time membership.
Okay.
But so he'll be able to golf more in the Corn Ferry, which is a big step.
Yeah.
And then, he'll have full-time in the PGA Tour of Americas. But he's putting the work in. And it's the attitude, and if you watch that video, it's just that's how he's always been. Just a delight to talk to, and just a positive, and it's easy to get down. But
especially in that sport.
Yeah, with a wrist, I mean, the major part of your swing.
Yep.
But, I mean, the way he's bounced back and to make that the final round of qualifying school shows you just the immense talent he's had, and we've been seeing since for the last 10, 12 years.
Right, exactly. We've talked about it how many times, the the high school programs of these golf programs around here, whether it's North or Memorial, boys and girls.
McDonald, Regis, Altoona.
I'll even go with Blue Gold Golf now too, with the men's team over there. A lot of it, I think, is
Elkmount.
Yeah.
Elkmount Colfax, don't want to forget Balcongshaw.
Yeah, that's a good one there. I think a lot of it, though, too, is just the quality of the courses we have around here, too.
Yes.
That makes such a difference for these youngsters.
And the willing for them to let juniors play. And that's where it starts at. It starts at the youth. And if you're able to move from there, just getting anybody to play.
Yep.
And golf is and we've seen it explode again in popularity. But it's one of those things that, and you hear me probably too much talk about golf, but it's one of those that's with you.
Yep.
You can do it.
Yep.
And do it until
you can't
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, really. I mean, and so I think they've really done such a great job of teaching and letting the kids grow. And, like you say, for the courses to let them do that in the juniors, and now we're seeing what it does out there on the course. It's again, for me, I'm spoiled to be able to watch as many of the great local golfers as we've had.
Yep, I agree. All right, Shot Clock's going to cut us off here in a couple minutes. So, because next week we're going to be at VFW, so if I don't see you next week, you and your family have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. Sir.
You too, and everybody out there. I mean, again, it's always a pleasure for me to come on out here, and always a pleasure for me to be able to cover your athletes in this local area.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by every Monday. More importantly, we appreciate you and your JD and your entire staff. Don't tell Dwayne I give him any credit, though. But you guys do fantastic stuff, and everybody make sure you're following along on Sports Scene 13, WEAU 13 News, too, because you guys put in a lot of miles, especially this time of year, too, with a lot of good stuff going on right now.
It really is.
But we appreciate it.